Hello everyone, Aaron here from Push Square, and today I want to break down the best PS5 accessories that I actually use in my own personal time. These are products that I have either bought on my own or have been sent over the years at the channel and still consistently use all this time later. So I'm going to break down things from practical upgrades that actually have a functional use to things that kind of flash up your PlayStation 5 setup. So let's get into it. I want to start off with the most functional and practical upgrade that you will ever make to your PlayStation 5, and that is an internal SSD. Now, I'm not really going to be someone that has like a specific one in mind. I couldn't even tell you which one I have in there, to be honest. There are a bunch of like compatible ones. I'll put a link to an article on the Push Square website so you can choose from there if you're interested. But I think expanding the storage on the PS5 is really essential, to be honest. I have had my SSD for quite some time with the base PS5, which has 825 gig on its own. Not a lot when you start to look at games that are 100 gig plus. The Slim helps a little bit because it has 1 terabyte and the Pro even better with 2 terabyte, but really you can't go wrong with more storage. I'm someone that likes to switch between a bunch of games, and if you've lived somewhere where maybe the internet speeds aren't the best, it can be a nightmare when your friends decide to go on a game, you don't have it installed, it's going to be all night downloading. If you have an internal SSD, it's just there, it's ready to go, and you can get it on. I think it's such a great inclusion, especially if you're subscribing to things like PS Plus Extra. You can download a bunch of games. I just think it's a great peace of mind. I mean, even still, when I've had 2 terabyte, I'm still deleting things, so I've actually considered upgrading even further to maybe an extra 2 terabyte or beyond, but I think at the very least an extra terabyte is going to go a long way. Next up, let's talk some flashy stuff. Going to include 2 products here, those being the console covers for the PS5 and the vertical stand. I'm going to complain a little bit about both of them first. It is very annoying that Sony has decided to individualize the console covers for each version of the PlayStation 5. The PS5 to PS5 Slim, I get it, it's a completely different design. It's a smaller frame, it doesn't really make sense for them to fit. The PS5 Slim to Pro though, that is annoying because although yes, the Pro is taller, the extra height is really coming from the black grills in the middle, so the actual console cover plates are still able to cover the same area. It's just really Sony decided not to allow it to fit on the Pro when it can fit in the Slim. The thing I really do like about them though is they can completely change the aesthetic of your setup, whether that's in the living room, if it's in your office. I think I do like the black and white design, the default black and white design, but it sometimes sticks out quite a bit, especially if you're going for a nice look in your living room and then there's just this big giant white box. Maybe switching it up with a black one to make it blend in a little bit more. I have the PS5 Slim in Cosmic Red, and that is so nice. I think these can really spice up the look of your gaming setup. And of course, the Sony official ones, they're kind of expensive, closer to around £50 here in the UK, but there are other options out there like D-brand, so if you were interested, I would suggest having a look around. I have the official Sony ones, but I have to say, it's not something I thought I would be too bothered with, but having the Cosmic Red sitting there, and now having the black and white Pro, I'm missing that style factor. Now the vertical stand, another thing to complain about. Why it's not included, especially with the Pro, is really annoying when you had a stand that could do both on the original model, but has to be said, it looks slick. I think it is a really nice addition. I'm not someone that ever liked having my PlayStation horizontally. I like it standing up tall. I think it just looks so much cleaner, especially with that nice kind of slick reflective silver metallic look to the stand. It's annoying, it's £25 extra, but it does look really nice, and that's something I don't think I could have a PlayStation without a stand that makes it stand up vertically. Now let's go on to some actual products here, and I'm going to start out with something very simple. This thing costs around £20, and that is the DualSense charging station. DualSense controllers don't have the best battery, especially if you have the vibrations and the haptics all the way up. They can drain quite quickly, and I always found it a pain having the singular wire and plugging it in. That way you would forget sometimes, or you would, it was really a bit of a pain, especially if you have multiple controllers that needed charging. This thing here is a really pretty cheap solution to solving that problem. If anyone remembers the PS4 charging stations, those were terrible because you basically had to like awkwardly slot it into place, and it just wasn't like convenient. It was more of a pain than anything else. The PS5 version, having this kind of little metallic prong kind of system, it basically just slots into place. You get kind of used to it. There is a method to it, I suppose, but it's a one-handed sit down. There it is, it's charging. There's the slot for 2, so whenever I finish playing my games, I just chuck them on there, and that's it. They're going to be charged up for the next time, and they tie into the look of the PlayStation 5 as well. Next up, while we're talking about controllers, extra controllers. Again, I like the black and white design of the original, but there's no denying that some of these other colours and designs that are out there are really, really nice. I have the Astrobot version, which I love. There's the Spider-Man 2 version as well. Also just the solid colours. This actually has a bit of dust in it because it's not been used in a while. But this one here, the Cosmic Red one, I think it's Cosmic Red that is. There's some really nice design factors to some of these limited edition and coloured controllers. I mean, here's the 30th anniversary edition, which is just gorgeous. I really, really do love that. I like having these different colours and designs, and I know it's not really the most practical thing to upgrade with, considering they're very expensive, but they look nice, and everyone knows you're going to get stick drift eventually if you're anyone like me that's gripping onto my controller, so having the extra is always quite handy, and they look really nice as well. To keep with controllers as well, I think something that I wasn't too sure whether I would like to start, but have used every day pretty much since I got it over a year and a half ago now, is the DualSense Edge. This is kind of more expensive, around about $210 still, I think, and this is probably a very simplified controller for a lot of people that are looking for pro customizable versions, because it's just got 2 back paddles on the back, you adjust the triggers, and of course you can go into settings for dead zones and the like. Now, you will get more customizable versions out there, like the Nacon Revolution 5 Pro. That controller probably has more things to fiddle with, but what I like about this is it has the pro aspects with the immersive haptics from the DualSense controller as well. It has some really nice implementations to the PS5 too, like being able to make several profiles and just hold one of these buttons down and switch to it in a heartbeat. So I've recently been playing Apex Legends and the finals, and I have 2 different profiles for each, and I just switch back and forth between them. It's really, really easy like that. So I didn't think I'd like it, but yeah, year and a half later, I'm still using this all the time. I have to say, big caveat though, something that seemed great with this is you can replace the stick drives. Now, this isn't using Hall effect sticks, this is just your regular thumbsticks, whatever you would call those, and they have issues. They get stick drift sometimes, and yes, you can replace them, but are they readily available? Not really. They're kind of difficult to get in the store. I've already had to replace one stick, the other one is going now, and I've been trying for roughly a month and a half to get a replacement with no success there. So that has to be said, but the product itself I really, really do enjoy. Now, to move on to some audio options here, I've got a few different things that I actually use. Now, one of my first kind of big upgrades with the PlayStation 5 was the Sony INZONE H9s. These are my go-to for a single player immersive experience. These headsets do really great when it comes to the fine little details. If something like The Last of Us, you can hear all of the different creatures around, or the wind, the rustling of the trees, the creaking, the things you're stepping on. That, from that aspect, is really, really good. Obviously, you have your flip down mic there, it's got noise cancelling, they're really comfortable, I think they look great as well, and they have Bluetooth functionality. So I do really like these, and I use these, like I said, for my single player games, like recently Silent Hill 2. Those have been great for Silent Hill 2. I have to say though, quite a lot of the time I use these things here, the JBL Quantum 910p. I reviewed these maybe a year or so ago, and I remember at the time saying like I like the H9s better, although more consistently I'm using those for explosive shooters like the finals. I play that all the time and I'm using those. They have a plusher, richer feel to them. They are more expensive, but yeah, I really do like those, and the battery life on them is super impressive. But a more recent purchase of mine actually, how am I opening this? Here we go. The Pulse Explorers. These are little wireless in-ear buds, and I wasn't too sure how I was going to find them, but I just decided that I really wanted them for one particular reason that I'll get into. But these are fairly comfortable. They're a little weird the way they stick out of your ear, to be honest, but they don't fall out, which is something. And the audio quality is pretty decent. I think they could have maybe been a little bassier, maybe, but generally speaking, I think they sound really great. They're really comfortable. Obviously, having them inside a charging pack means it's really easy to keep on top of battery life with them. They connect to your PS5 like that. Honestly, you're barely got them to your ears and they're already connected. But there is one reason that I actually picked these up, and it's for my last suggestion of a PS5 accessory, and that is the PS Portal. The PlayStation Portal is probably the biggest surprise accessory that I have had for the PS5. I did not see the point when it was first announced. I got it for review, and what are we, a year or so down the line? I use this multiple times a week. Like most nights I will play a little bit of a chill session on my PS Portal, and now it's got even more value, you know, even more bang for buck, because you have cloud streaming on it, so you can actually you don't need to connect to a PlayStation 5 back home. You can just have an internet connection and a PS Plus premium subscription and stream a bunch of games. There's quite a lot of big games on there as well, and that's kind of why I've went for this combo of the Explorer and the Portal, because that doesn't have Bluetooth and you can only connect it via a 3.5mm audio jack. So now with these two together, I can sit in bed, just chuck these in, and I can game to myself, and the audio is great, it connects instantly. And the thing with the Portal, I said it in my review at the time, I think this is the most comfortable handheld on the market right now. I can't play the Switch for more than 25-30 minutes. The Steam Deck makes a lot of noise, it gets really heated, the screen isn't that great, but this one here, it feels nice in the hand, it has haptics and adaptive triggers, which I love, and the screen's the perfect size, and for an LCD as well, it looks great. I'd love an OLED option, but I think this does look great with the LCD screen. And yeah, I've just been really impressed with how close to the base experience this can be if you have like a normal connection. I think I was away like a month or so ago. I was roughly 140 miles away, and I just used hotspot on my Portal, and I played like 4 hours of the Crew Motorfest, and it didn't even take up that much data either. But those are the accessories that I really do recommend. These are the ones that I use almost all the time. I couldn't really go without at this point. So let me know some of your favourite accessories down in the comments below. And as always, if you liked the video, leave a like, and even better, subscribe to the channel for more PlayStation video content. Anyway, I appreciate you as always for watching, and until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.